petticoats and like dresses and this and that. I'm like, that thing ain't even breathed all day.
Didn't everyone smell bad back in the day? Like in Walking Dead, it is crazy. Like
they had
when
syphilis.
Zombies were running the world.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the podcast. It's your girl Simone
and Isabella, and Isabella. Sorry. Hi.
Okay, we are here today to celebrate International Women's Day. Yay!
We're dedicating this episode to every single woman. That includes everyone that identifies as a woman. Women. That's that. This day is for you. I just wanted to say I love women.
We love women. Over here.
We love women.
We actually want to start this episode off by talking about some women that we love. So first on the list is Viola Davis. I love her because she's officially an EGOT. I know Whoopi Goldberg is an EGOT as well. EGOT stands for like you have won every single like award.
An Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony.
Yeah, so you've won every single one. Next on the list is going to be my sister because she told me good job yesterday. And I really, really, really needed that. And I really, really appreciated that. And she patted me on the back. And shout out to also every single woman in my family, including my mother, who sacrificed like everything for us growing up, and my grandmother as well, who bore 8 children.
Wow.
And provided me with my mother and all of my cousins and all of the other women that I love. And then shout out to the woman that bejeweled her vagina that you sent me that one time. She bedazzles her vagina. Like, I love her. I love that woman. She's just so cool and so original. She doesn't give a fuck, and like hair positivity, love her. And then last, thank you to a woman. Rachel is my brother's girlfriend. She just gave birth to
congratulations.
I don't even know what number nephew I'm on, but she just gave me another nephew. So that's wonderful. Thank you for using your body as a vessel to grow him and becoming a mother.
Yay!
What a wonderful. Women are amazing. Women are amazing.
Women are amazing.
Period.
Women are
Those
amazing.
are all my
Okay.
women thank yous.
I didn't make a list, but I'm going to do one right now. I want to thank Lizzo. I want to thank Beyonce. I want to thank Mitski. I want to thank Rihanna. I want to thank the Powerpuff Girls. Thank you to Dylan Mulvaney. She's such a light in so many people's lives and provides so much joy. Thank you to my mother, who taught me how to be a strong woman. And I'm so grateful to my mother. And also thank you to my sister. Love you, girl. Also, I love you, Kiki Palmer. If you're out there, I love you.
And she's pregnant. Yay.
She's pregnant. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Also thank you, Greta Thunberg. You're doing amazing work. And thank you to like every woman out there who is doing things that I don't even know your names, but like you're creating things in science, you're creating things in, you know, the environment that's doing so much work and so much credit, which is so much harder as a woman because you're not taken seriously. So thank you to everything that you're doing. I, growing up, did not know that sexism existed because my mother was so like powerful and just like in charge and like such like an authoritative figure that I did not know that women were not in charge everywhere. And so I'm so grateful that I had this hero to look up to growing up, and I never felt the need to make myself smaller or, you know, act a certain way in order to succeed. And it wasn't until later in life where I entered rooms where I was looked down upon for being a woman. I wasn't taken seriously as being a woman, and that was very jarring for me. And I'm very grateful that I had such an amazing mother growing up that has made me who I am, where when those situations come about, I'm like, there's no doubt in my mind that I should be taken seriously and that I should be spoken to as an equal because of how I grew up.
Period. Period, Barb. Period to both of the Barbs. Both of
Thank
if you did
both
not know,
the Barbs. Yeah.
Isabella and I's
have the same mother.
Both of our mothers have the same name. So shout out to the Barbs. So now that we're through the sunshine and rainbows, I think that it's very, dare I say, controversial for you to love women so much. And why I say it's controversial is because a lot of women don't always have the best experience with other women growing up. Yeah. Or maybe don't have other women that they can relate to, or maybe other women in their life haven't modeled their idea of what woman means to them. There's complications with the relationship that women can have with each other and then you can have with yourself, which brings us to misconceptions of womanhood and female friendship.
I was actually looking up fun facts about women. There were several sites where the fun facts about women were like women end up ingesting 2 pounds of lipstick per year. And like women spend over a year deciding what outfit to wear. And even that, I was like, shut up. Women are so much more. But it was interesting because it was like the way I was reading it, I could tell it was written like, can you imagine they spend a whole year like thinking of what to wear? But the way I read it was like, how beautiful the thought of women taking the time to really consider how they're presenting themselves to the world. The costume they're putting on. But you were going off of misconceptions with women.
I feel like I've always had really good relationships with women because I grew up with my sisters, and I always had like a lot of friends. Like I've never really identified with having boys as friends because I just don't identify with men in intimate ways that I need to be able to identify with a friend, right? Other people can be friends with the opposite gender and they're fine with it. But for me, I just have never really identified. I can have friends. I can have friends that are men, but when it really comes down to it, when I really need to talk, when I really need to like dig in deep and like who I'm going to call to like be on the phone with for like hours, it's not going to be a man. So I say that to say that I've always had a positive opinion of my friendships and with women in general. I've never identified with that like whole like, oh my gosh, the girl that's like, I just don't like
women
girls,
are too much drama.
Girl, shut the up. Like, what do you mean? It speaks to the fact that you, in my opinion, I have interacted with so many women in my life.
Yes.
I understand that women exist on a spectrum. Like there are some women that I have met that have been the worst freaking people I've ever known in my life. And I have also met women. Oh, I'm not afraid to say it. No, there's no.
Me being like, no, impossible.
No gender is perfect. Like there are extremes in each one. But what I understand is because I've interacted with so many different types of people and so many different types of women. I'm like, it doesn't spoil the entire
gender.
One bad apple doesn't ruin the freaking bunch.
I just wanted to say that it makes me really sad. And I was listening to a podcast once that was talking about their women friendships, and we're saying that it's harder for them to have women friendships. Their women friendships don't last as long because there's competition, because there's rivalry, because there's jealousy, because there's comparison. That really breaks my heart that this person has experienced those things and is, saying that most women friendships are like that, because of course there are going to be friendships like that with either gender. But I do want to say that is not all friendships that women share. And I have had some really fulfilling, incredible relationships with women that do not have any drama, that do not have any competition, that are there for each other, to lift each other up, to root for each other, to be with one another. And that if you are finding yourself consistently in relationships where it is unhealthy, that you need to step away from those, because there are alternatives. There are friendships that you can have that are so wonderful and beautiful. And I think sisterhood is a really beautiful thing. Yeah. And I think of a lot of the women in my life as sisters, and I'm like, I love you. Like, we are all connected. Like, I know that you can understand things about me and I can understand things about you that maybe other people wouldn't. And it breaks my heart when other women see women as competition. I think that speaks to a deeper end of misogyny, where I think in society they want women to turn against each other in order for men to maintain having power.
If you find that you're having repeated bad interactions with women, I implore you to look within.
I knew she was going to say that.
I implore you to look within.
She's imploring you to look within.
Any situation where you see yourself being in the same situation consistently, no matter what the outside things that are happening. I'm sorry, baby girl. It is time to look inwards. What is going on the inside? Because if you're going to say, I'm always consistently friends with mean girls, I'm friends with girls that pick on me all the time, what is it inside of you that allows yourself to be in that dynamic? You need to have a conversation with yourself as to why you feel like you are worth being surrounded by people that treat you smaller. That says a lot more, because people are going to treat you how you teach them to treat you. So if you continue to be in these situations and these people are not treating you with the regard that you want to be treated, and you continue to put yourself in that situation, now we're talking about self-worth. Now we're talking about what you feel like you deserve, because if you continue to do it, girl, I mean, like, yes, are they the problem? Absolutely. But what you can do is remove yourself from the situation. So the fact that you're not, and you're continually finding yourself in that situation, that says a lot.
And this doesn't limit itself to girls at all, but I've heard that the universe will provide you the same lesson over and over again until you learn it. Mm-hmm. Like if you keep on dating like men that don't care about you, like it will just like arrive again in a different person. Or if you have codependent friendships,
that's sick,
it will arrive again in another friendship where it's also codependent because you didn't really learn the lesson that was meant to be learned in the first relationship. And okay, so that's competitive friendships, etc. That is like a false propriety of like women are so much drama, women are so catty, women. I don't believe in any of that. That could be anyone, and it's not true. Like women friendships can be so beautiful, and like I am begging you to just take my word for it and take Simone's word for it, because women are some of the most giving, kind, also, empathetic people.
Okay, so you're saying that, but me being like rainbow, sunshine, love women, blah blah blah. Someone else made the point of no one is able to hold you to accountable like someone that looks like you. So the fact that you keep on running away from people that looks like you is a problem. Let me just say this from my heart. No one has been able to hold me accountable more than a black woman, period. When a black woman looks me in the face and is like, this ain't it, baby girl, this is not it, you need to be doing this, you need to be getting on the right track, doing this, doing X, doing Y. Why can women do that? Because they understand the plight of a woman. They understand what you have to go through. They understand the barriers that you have to break, and they understand when you're bullshitting. Women will hold you accountable, baby.
We also love men. This episode is about lifting women up. We're not putting down men. We're just, if you want another episode where we talk about how much we love men, comment down below and we'll do it. We will do it. We do love men. We love them.
We have to.
But right now we're lifting women. We love women. And it's interesting because I have found oftentimes the way that men write women in movies, in TV shows, in books, is often putting them into a box. That woman will either play the role of wife, will play the role of sexy little mistress, will play the role of innocent little neighbor. And it's a box, and it makes people very uncomfortable in real life when women step out of that box.
Or are multiple things at once.
So it will often make men uncomfortable when women step outside of that little box and become multiple things or become something different that they didn't intend them to be. Whereas women are aware that a woman holds everything, has the capability of being a mother, of being a sister, of being a best friend, of being a neighbor, of being so many different things. And Simone and I talk about this a lot of like, Simone is serious, but she can also be silly. And like, I find this a lot where I can be like, la la la, play, play, play. But then I get frustrated when people can't take me seriously. And I'm like, why can I not be both? Why is it impossible to be able to hold both spaces? And you see this a lot in professionalism too, of wanting to, you know, dress in a blazer. Like, I think professionalism is steeped in misogyny. You're supposed to put on a blazer, put on pants, you know, wear light makeup, not wear colorful nails. Like, if you want to talk about a woman of color, you have to wear your hair a very specific way, and certain hairstyles are considered not professional. And I think that's all steeped in racism, of course, and also misogyny of what professionalism, the box, is supposed to look like, and you can only be one thing at a time.
You made the point that you think that women know that we hold the key to a lot. I would actually argue that a lot of women do not know that. I think that a lot of women do not know it because of the way that women are socialized. I can only speak to America because I'm American. I have always, similar to what you were talking about, how your mom really modeled the fact that a woman can be whatever. My mom absolutely did as well. And I think that is, I feel like I offer a unique perspective because I'm not only a woman, I'm a black woman. And for a long time in my life, I put my blackness ahead of my womanhood. And honestly, probably a lot of black women might do the same. I hold them in tandem. I think that I'm a woman and I'm black at the same time. And a lot of black women, and I would assume, correct me if I'm wrong, all the black women that are listening / watching would put their blackness first before their womanness. And it's interesting because that's the way that we're socialized growing up. It's that you're black first. You need to learn how to move as a black person in society, from the sexualization of you from the time that you were a child, the adultification of black women from the time that we were young. I knew that I I had so much in me and that I was responsible for so much. But that is unfortunately the plight of Black women, because every single problem is put on the shoulders of Black women. If there's anything that needs to be solved, especially that goes on in the Black community, we look to the Black women to fix it. It is so rare that we depend on men to fix our problems, to be the breadwinners, to be the everything. Like growing up, I was taught to be everything because I was taught to expect nothing from a man, ever, never, which is an entire other thing. But I always knew the power that I held as a woman because, and that, I guess you could say that that's a part of like, it's kind of like Black privilege in a way. Have you never heard the term Black privilege before?
No.
Don't love this man. But Charlemagne the God, he wrote an entire book called Black Privilege. And it's interesting to look at the ways, I think that there is privilege in, this was going to start me down an entire other path, but it's annoying to me when like, especially white people can't acknowledge their white privilege, because it's like, it doesn't mean that you've never gone through anything in life. It just means that the color of your skin didn't make it harder, right? So like, do I experience a lot of fucked up things because I'm a Black woman? Absolutely. But do I have a lot of privileges as a beautiful Black woman who fits a very particular body standard? Absolutely. But that doesn't mean that I just walk and lollygag through life. You feel me? But I want to say that I think that because of the way that a lot of women are socialized, we think that we have to be one thing. It's that you are the wife. Yes. You are the whore. You're one thing, instead of being like, no. I'm a wife. I'm a slut. Yes. I like to bake. But the point is that I don't think that a lot of women do realize how dynamic we are. And it takes to see other women be dynamic and also push back on that very, very narrow stance of what it means to be a woman. And it's too, because a lot of women, as the term says, internalize misogyny and will also
pride themselves on being not like other women. Will be like, oh, I'm not like other women, I'm different, which is such a negative thing. I am like other women.
I am like other women.
Amazing.
Or just that we like have things in common. Who cares? Do you understand how disgusting, how immediately I write off a man if he ever says the sentence to me, yeah, you're not like, ooh, if he uses the word females, you ain't like them other females.
Well, and also,
please elaborate.
I was listening to a podcast and they were saying that growing up, they would not wear pink and they would not do girly things because they could tell that boys like treated them differently when they were girlier, and they like looked down upon it and they thought that was like foo-foo. That is like a huge thing. And even today, I have like women that are like, oh my God, women that wear all that makeup. And like one time I was at a party and a girl came up to me and was like, oh my God, like it's just a pool party. Why are you wearing all that?
Also, what do you mean?
It made me so sad. I was like, you're not being a girl's girl. Every girl should dress up and dress up if they want. Yeah. Go ahead, Simone. Talk about makeup.
This freaking trend that I saw, I'm irritated that it's ending up on my For You pages. I'm like, what made you think I would like this? It's like girls like being like, back when I thought I had to wear all this makeup and have my hair a certain color and be blonde, and then it would like flip to like them like with barely any makeup on and like their natural hair color. And I'm not even kidding you, these videos have millions of likes and like literally thousands upon thousands of comments being like, and that's what we're trying to say, like women will just discover that they're so much prettier the more natural that they are.
Oh, interesting.
What makes you think that a woman wants to be natural? Okay, this blew my mind when someone said this. They were talking about the Claremont twins. There's constant pictures being posted of them of like how they look on Instagram versus how they look in real life. And one particular picture got posted and I was reading the comments and someone was like, what makes you think that they want to look natural? This is clearly like a choice. Like they want to look like walking dolls. Did that ever occur to y'all? And for me, it never occurred to me that someone could get plastic surgery with the intention of looking like they got plastic surgery. And I'm saying that to say it unlocked this part of me that was like, oh my gosh, I've been holding women's looks, surgery, all of this stuff to a very particular standard, because it's like everything should be beautification. If you get filler, if you get Botox, if you get your boobs done, it all needs to look natural and like it naturally happened. No, that's the male gaze. The male gaze wants for a woman to look perfect without trying. Like the scope of what beauty is changes ever so slightly, but you're right, it is really homogenous.
Something that's really interesting about women is they have a reputation for being gossipy, where gossip is thought of like as a really negative thing, whereas gossip historically was just a term that was used for sharing information amongst a community, for passing along information. Because when you think about it, back in wherever, a long time ago, men would go out, hunter, gather, whatever. There was no internet. There was no way of communicating to separate communities. Mm-hmm. So women would spend their time talking to each other, sharing information socially about what's going on, what's happening, thoughts, feelings, emotions, and they would then pass that information amongst other communities and so on and so forth, which is hugely creating, new communities. And we realize how important that is now, because that's all social media is. And so this was a huge thing, and women started becoming actually very powerful because they held all of this information amongst each other. It wasn't until men caught wind of this and how powerful that women were becoming because of holding all this information that then they labeled it as gossip, as something negative, as something catty, as something, sneaky, that it then became something that was looked down upon as like, oh, they're gossiping, girls are gossiping, versus like this sharing and exchanging of vital information. The more
Fun
you
fact.
know.
I love a slut. No, I love a slut. There's nothing that excites me more than a woman that is so free with her body and also is like, oh, this is it. This little thing is all it takes for you to just like get all my girls in the club or like give me some money or like whatever. All I have to do is just take a picture of my titties. What? Okay. And then they get everything they want. And like,
I think it's a really interesting conversation because we have found that women are shamed for the amount of people that they've had sex with, whether it be high or low.
Yes.
There's no
winning.
Right number. Where in reality, it should be similar. As long as you're being safe and as long as there's consent, it should not matter at all the amount of people that you have sex with one way or another. I don't think it should matter one way or another. It shouldn't change how anybody thinks of you because it is just something, some people enjoy sex more than other people enjoy sex. Some people are asexual. Some people are not interested in sex at all. Some people have had, traumatic experiences and aren't able to have, sex for a little bit. Like, it's just like a really interesting thing. And I don't know when as a society we deemed it being such like a pillar of personality, such
morality.
A pillar of morality,
I know exactly when.
ethics. Okay,
I know exactly when. When
ahead.
Religion became a focus in like, because back before it was especially, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, in the comments. It was very much like everyone was fucking everybody back in the dizzy. Oh, and you know what I always think of too whenever I'm watching like period pieces on like HBO and shit, I'm like, and they're humping, I'm like, don't y'all stink?
Yeah.
Like, and I don't think that too. Yeah. And I'm like, I know that's not the focus right now, but I'm like, oh my God, this is not a period piece, but like Walking Dead. Y'all are having sex. There's no running water. Like, and it's hot. And especially like when women were wearing like corsets and petticoats and like dresses and this and that. I'm like, that thing ain't even breathed all day.
Didn't everyone smell bad back in the day? Like in Walking Dead, it is crazy. Like
historically
when zombies were running the world.
It's like they had syphilis, venereal diseases, hepatitis.
Well, somebody tweeted being like with the quiet. Have you seen The Quiet Place?
Yeah.
Somebody tweeted being like, why didn't they stop? Have these people not heard of a condom? Have they not heard of the pull-out method? Sorry, you guys. Stop having kids.
Why did I bring that up? Oh, shit.
Slut shaming. Religion.
Here we go. Okay, so when Christianity came into the guise, like it became like the thing, that is when it was used. Like everything changed. But people will use the Bible to shame people for so many different reasons.
And it's interesting because we keep saying people, but we are talking about women because it is not the same standard for men as it is for women.
Actually, quite the opposite. The more women that you have sex with, the more your social standing goes up.
And
the more your clout
goes up. I remember literally in middle school in middle school, a boy telling me this, because I was like, why is it this? And me being like a little mini, and I was like, I don't understand why it's bad that women have sex with people and boys, it isn't. And a boy told me it's because a key that unlocks many different locks.
He did not say that young.
A key that unlocks many different locks is a great key.
I'm so triggered.
But a lock that unlocks for a bunch of different keys is a lock.
I am so I know that you're not around like the manosphere a lot and like you don't get that content. That is the line that the manosphere uses. The line.
I was like, wait, but we're talking about
people,
vaginas and penises. We're not talking about locks and keys. A vulva, a vagina is not something to be unlocked. Also, not all women have vaginas. A woman is not something to unlock because women aren't trying to not have sex and men are trying to have sex.
I feel so viscerally strong about the fact that men, literally every single thing that a man does is for other men. Like every single solitary thing is for other men. Like them working out, the type of money that they want to make. Patriarchy benefits no one.
We love you out there. Say thank you to a woman in your life today because none of us would be here without a woman.
None of us.
We love women. Shout out to you, women. If nobody else has said it to you yet today, we love you very, very much. And women are amazing. Scream of the week.
So I was going to Pilates. I went to Pilates and I didn't know that this particular spot was for women of a certain age. That is not mine. I like to work out with the young girls because the young girls are like, and 1 and 2 and up and down
That's
and 3
so
and 4.
Funny.
No break.
I would prefer to work with the older women.
No, because it's too slow for me. So I walked in there, complete silence, because the woman, an older woman, could have literally been my mother, could not figure out how to work the music system. So there was no music. She's like, we're just going to do no music.
Shut up. We're just going to do no music. Queen.
No music.
I love a woman.
No music. And then I'm already very, 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 very self-conscious about vlogging in public. I think that it is cringy. I think that, but I have to. Like I'm a content creator, and I have to bring the camera outside of the house. I just have to.
Yeah.
So I bring my smallish tripod. Do you know that this woman is going around the class? And she looks down at my phone and she goes, "Are you going to be recording?" And I go, "No. Just like a little bit, just myself." And she goes, "Okay, put the mat, blah, blah, blah." But the way the entire class is just staring at me while she's being like, "So you're going to be recording?" And I'm like,
of course.
Oh, I could have died. There's not, and I know we had an entire episode about embarrassment. I'm like, I don't get embarrassed. That was humiliating. And then I just didn't record anything, and it was just a buzz. Like I refuse. You think after I got called out like that I was gonna touch that phone? No, absolutely not. So that's my scream of the week, unfortunately. And I'll never be back to that particular chain. But shout out to them women. I invaded their space, so I'm sorry to those women, and I just won't be back. Love you guys though, forever.
Okay, my scream of the week in theme. I was going to talk about Girl Bus. Are you familiar with Girl Bus? Mm-mm. There was this one TikTok from this girl who is like, I was on a bus this morning and it was all women, including the bus driver. And she was like, I wanted more than anything to just start chanting Girl Bus, Girl Bus, Girl Bus, and have everyone start chanting it. And I think about Girl Bus all the time. Like, Girl Bus is a safe place for me. Like a bus of all girls just chanting Girl Bus and being girls. I love the idea of Girl Bus. Secondly, because that one was a little bitty. I read the 4 Agreements in high school, but it reminded me of what you said in saying that when you make a decision, you hold yourself to it. Because the 4 Agreements are basically, if you do these 4 things, according to Don Miguel Ruiz, that you will achieve happiness. These are the 4 things required to be happy, which is always do your best, don't make assumptions, don't take anything personally because everyone's thinking about themselves and they're working under their given circumstances. But the one that's like you is be impeccable with your word, which when you think about it, you think automatically with other people. If I tell somebody I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there, etc. But then he brings up how important it is to be impeccable with the word to yourself. If you say you are going on the treadmill tomorrow, you are going on the treadmill. Because if you continue to tell yourself things and not follow through with it, you will no longer be able to trust your own word. And that's a huge thing that he talks about.
That's good.
But anyway, hope you guys are enjoying International Women's Day. We love you,
Period.
love you, love you, love you. From these women to you women, we love you.
We love you. Thank you so much for joining us for yet another episode. You can always view the podcast visually on YouTube and on Spotify, and then wherever you listen to your podcast, you can listen audibly. Shout out to you if you're listening audibly. This is a little bit of ASMR for you, audio listeners.
If you're listening audibly, check it out on YouTube anyway, because Simone looks really pretty and is wearing a really nice corset, and I think you're gonna want to see this.
Period. And also just follow us on all of our other platforms, which will be linked in our show notes and also linked in the description box.
Well, guys, thank you so much. Love you guys. See you next week.
Bye, guys.